James Prime here. You guys remember that video I did a while ago called What English People Think About Americans? Well, I read a comment that reads something like this. Am I the only one sick of seeing London all the time? When do you ever see Manchester, Liverpool, or any other British city? And some other comments saying, if you only went to London, you really haven't been to England. And I get it. So for this, part 2, I came all the way out here to York, England to get some of their thoughts and opinions. Now, sorry to interrupt, James from the future here. Just heads up, it's gonna rain, your SD cards are gonna get wet, and all your footage is gonna be gone. So don't worry, I'm actually really worried. Well, this is where the good news kicks in. You get the chance to walk around York, England for hours on end, all over again, and interview a bunch of different people. So,
see you, chump.
I don't feel that Americans get sarcasm, so we understand our British humour.
I can't believe the gullibility of people
First question, super easy, is have you ever been to the US?
I haven't been to America. If I was going to go to America, I would like to go to San Francisco and New York City.
Would you ever go to one of the best cities in America? It's called Fremont, Ohio.
Yeah, I would consider it.
Not yet, but I would love to go.
Yes, I have.
Oh, where'd you go?
LA.
That's where I want to go.
Hawaii, Honolulu.
No.
Nope.
Nope. Would love to go to America and intend going with two destinations. My partner's daughter stayed in San Francisco recently. She loved it. So yeah, we're really determined to get to San Francisco and really determined to get to New York as well.
Never. I've never been to America. My whole family have been, but I've never been.
Haven't been to America.
Yes.
You have?
Yeah. I've been to Florida and New York.
I've also been to Florida, Orlando.
Yes, quite a few times.
All right, okay, where'd you go?
We went down to Seattle for 2 or 3 days. Sin City, Las Vegas.
Never, no.
So what are your general thoughts about America? So when you think America, what comes to mind?
Well, American TV. I like the films. I like the programs. I love America, so I need to be there. I need to go and visit.
It's a nice place where I've been. I'd like to do Route 66 on a hog. People
You
are
like
friendly.
the food, Twinkies and all that, cupcakes.
Yeah,
He loves
Twinkies
the
and
food.
cupcakes, yeah.
Like rednecks. like the South. Like that.
I think politics or food.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump and diners.
I guess the first thing, I was brought up watching westerns, so the first thing I think of is big open spaces. I think of mountains, lakes, rivers. I think of Black Lives Matters.
Oh, yeah.
I think of Hollywood. I also think of racism. I think especially the South. And I think about slavery as well and its history and how its history was built on slavery, taking a country from native peoples. So I think about all of those things, but I think it's very complex. So yeah, lots of thoughts, lots of good positive thoughts as well as the negative.
I know, obviously, around the world there's lots of people that have opinions about British politics, but we are not necessarily or come across as racist as a lot of the Americans are in terms of the Americanism culture. So I feel like that was a really difficult time for you, potentially quite a bad move, and whoever is in now is really old.
I'd say burgers. To be honest, that's the first thing that came into my head. Like a burger. I love burgers.
Drive-ins, as in takeaway food. Positive people, I feel like, as well. Chatty people. Disney, Florida. It's so stereotypical. Music as well, I guess.
Should be land of the free, home of the brave. But not so much these days.
So big. There's so many different types of cultures and stuff involved as well. Different thoughts and beliefs.
Now, when it comes to Americans, the people themselves, what do you think about the people?
Honestly, you're the only American I've met, and my impression of you is amazing, and I love this, so this is amazing. I'm going to be on YouTube. This is ace. So yeah, very positive.
Friendly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
From what I've met.
The difference in culture, they're a bit more forward spoken than the British, I guess. I don't know, I think we're quite similar in terms of Western tendencies.
I do think there is a large amount of Americans that are probably not spoken about, the ones that are really friendly, the ones that are really approachable, and the ones who can have a little bit of a laugh. But in TV programmes and things, you don't necessarily see that come across, and I don't feel that Americans get sarcasm. They don't understand our British humour, which at times can be quite crude.
I guess my thoughts are heavily influenced by politics, and particularly by what's been happening in recent years. So I can't believe the gullibility of people voting and supporting a president like Donald Trump. I read just recently, just 2 days ago, that 70% of Republicans still believe the vote was rigged, and I just find that incredible, that despite all of this overwhelming evidence, people still believe that. So I think, I do think there's a degree of gullibility. But on the other hand, Americans are an amazing people. They're so creative and they contribute so much to the world as well. So
It's hard. I haven't actually met that many American people. Right. But again, the ones I have met, very friendly. Right. Maybe a bit too friendly. but like in a nice way. It's sort of refreshing, I think.
I'm going to go with the first thing that came into my head. I thought fat. That's what came to mind. Do you know? I was thinking maybe it's because I just saw Super Size Me really recently, so maybe that explains the burger and the fat. I know a few Americans. They're great.
I think there's a broad range. There's a stereotype of them just being a bit stupid, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think they're just like everyone else. You could say it about England as well. There's some stupid people, but there's some smart people.
When I went to Disney, so it was just magical. So everyone just seemed really lovely. But no, I agree.
Customer service is amazing over there.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't get that here.
Yeah. No, everyone's chatty and friendly, I think.
The Americans that I've met, great people. Okay. But having said that, usually there's alcohol involved, and it's usually sat around a bar. I was in Vegas for Trump's election night, a Brit, and a bar full of Trumpers. I could not do a thing wrong. I did not buy a drink all night. It was great.
What is something you like about America?
There are some amazing places, from what I've seen on TV and stuff. It's massive as well, so there's so many different places you can go and things to see, and
The weather.
The weather, oh yes. I love it all, mate.
2A, Second Amendment.
Quite like your different styles of music. So I do love country music. The best place to go and see country music is in America, and I think music brings a lot of people together, and in that respect you do well. You've got a really lovely accent, and there's a lot of hot boys in America.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, well, I've just mentioned creativity, and I guess that's one of the key things. I read a lot, and I love American literature. I love American films. Perhaps the music now has changed a lot, but I still appreciate the talent that goes into producing the music. But again, I come back to that thing about, America is this huge contrasting country, and that's what makes it one of the things that makes it so fascinating. So big, busy cities with so much going on, so much energy, and then these massive landscapes where there's hardly anything there. So I think of all of those things.
Music, it's always been music for me, as I said at the beginning, like music videos and old hip-hop culture and stuff.
I really like how big the country is, and that you could literally drive, you can get everything, like any kind of landscape, any kind of weather, you can get it if you just travel. I'd love to do a road trip sort of across America and see all of the different places. I think the landscape is probably really beautiful. I don't know why I really want to go to New England. Because I've seen photos of it and I'm like, wow, it just looks so beautiful.
The size, I like the fact that you can go on holiday in your own country, and how big it is, the weather and stuff, how it changes from one part to another. Right. Because you can't really do that here, it's all the same.
Just how expansive it is, and how I think forward-thinking, but also perhaps not forward-thinking it is.
New York. The idea of New York, I think, is amazing. I love the idea of going to New York and the streets, the kind of because it's all grid-like, isn't it?
Yeah. It's right on a grid.
It's all that's kind of cool. I think I've not but a taxi in New York is kind of cool. Right. One of those yellow. Do you still have yellow taxis in New York? Yeah. That's the sort of thing I like.
Something you don't like about America?
Well, again, I think I've probably said it in my earlier answers. Is that just unbelievable? That gullibility to support a president like Donald Trump, and there is a lot of bigotry and a lot of hatred in the States as well, and certainly that's perspective we have, that people overseas have.
The complete lack of care and consideration when eating chloroform chicken and meat that's got plastic in. There's really no sort of laws which protect animals, and I feel like as a consumer, Americans need to be a little bit more aware about what they're putting in their bodies, how it's affecting the environment, and the negative impacts on climate change and how it's going to affect the rest of the world in the future. Right. If we could take what you guys and Americans eat in a year, we could feed the world.
It's a little bit political, but it's like this Black Lives Matter thing that started over there because of exactly what I was going to say, all lives matter. Right. But it predominantly, for me, came from America, and now you've got idiots in the street doing all this Black Lives Matter.
Right.
All lives matter. I'm not racist in any way, shape, or form.
Everybody
so
bleeds red. We're all the
why that started there in London? You get all the gangs going around wannabe Americans. Do you get me? All the gang culture and that lot. That's a bad thing because it doesn't come from unless the English are that narrow-minded that they watch the films and think that that's what it's like out there. Right. But do you get me? It's like all the gang culture and all that kind of coming from America. That's the only thing I can say I don't really like about it. Yeah.
Recently, I don't really like how the politics works. It's hard to say because I feel like there's inequality in every society, right. But I feel like it's very heightened over there at the moment. And I don't know if that's just because of the news and how it's portrayed in the news. The American dream and like get rich quick, and if you work hard, you'll get there. I just feel like it doesn't work for everyone, and I feel like a lot of people get let down.
How the President-elect Joe Biden seems to be trying to infringe on the Second Amendment.
Right.
The fact they think Europe is a country.
Right.
Yeah. They refer to Europe as England.
And on TikTok, sometimes they just say stuff and you're like, what?
Oh, and taking the mick out of
English
accents.
They try to do British accents and they can't do them.
I don't really get American football, if I'm being honest. I don't get it. Maybe that's possibly coming from a position of not really understanding it, but I just don't really understand. I don't get it. But you're like wearing all the pads, and it's like a kind of like it's like a Broadway musical version of Broadway musicals. I love Broadway musicals. Can I go back to the other one?
I don't know. I've never been. Okay. I've met 5 American people, so I'm not that quick to judge.
To any Americans out there that are watching this, can you give them your best American accent?
A man's got to know his limitations.
I'm just reading off this sign. Home of the world famous, the Yorkie Pud. Can you say that in an American accent?
Home of the world famous, the Yorkie Pud.
I feel like it's so bad. The only one I'd go for is like the California, oh my god.
Oh my god, give me a cheeseburger.
I carried a watermelon.
A watermelon?
Wow, I'm from the north of England, that's difficult. Hey guys, love your bud.
Sure, man. Definitely Oh, no, it went bad. Hey, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this one's really on the spot.
Okay, what about... I'm from New York, you piece of doit.
Hey, man. That's totally awesome.
I'm not very good at accents. I can't even speak my own. Love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Alright, so those are some more thoughts and opinions from my English brothers and sisters. Now, to the people who participated in this video, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to do this video. Now, to any English people out there that are just so happening to watch this video, curious to hear your thoughts on America. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about America? I'll leave you with that.